there are people, and there are studies that support it, and I can put them on the website, that say the biggest problem is not working, the biggest problem is boredom. And that what is needed is more diversity of job opportunities, more training for those jobs, and more humanity in the training and supervision of those jobs so they really do prepare people on the outside. And there is significant research that says there's a lower rate of recidivism for those that work in prison, that they not only learn technical skills, but also soft skills, because a lot of people in prison have never had a legal job. So they learn about showing up on time and taking supervision and participating as part of a team, and that can have rehabilitative impact on people. So when they get out, that does transfer over. So nothing is ever all one way or the other.
We are trying to end the exception in the 13th Amendment that still permits today the enslavement of people in our nation, whoever they may be, right? And so whether you believe that prison labor as it is today is or is not slavery is sort of irrelevant. Because if you believe slavery is wrong, then you can support ending that exception and let the courts decide what is and what is not slavery, right? And I think there was an interesting comment here made about obviously atoning and like paying your debts. What I find absolutely reprehensible in this entire system is that, in fact, when you don't pay somebody who's incarcerated, who actually suffers? It's the victims. Because guess what? Many people who have victims in their crimes actually do have restitution that they have to pay. And imagine paying it at 8 cents an hour. That means those victims do not get what they are due for decades. And in fact, most people come out of prison with large sums of debt to pay those restitutions. Guess who else suffers? The children.
Right, the family.
Families, children who are left behind when their parents are incarcerated. They don't see a cent of child support. That person may slave in prison for 25 years, and their child never, ever see a dime of it. Who does?
Right.
Yeah. And that's why I say it's not necessarily the working, it's how it's done.
Right.
Maybe they should be paid. They don't pay, prisoners don't pay rent. They get 3 meals a day.
Two in Texas.
2 in Texas. You only seen you twice in Texas?
Yes, sir. It's going to twice a day in Texas.
Yeah.
That's
they get, I'm not saying it's great care, but they do get medical care and dental care and certain care. So there are things that are provided that are not paid for. So there has to be a better system than what we have now. That's the point.
But I would like to say that there is, you do pay for medical in some prisons. You do have to pay some sort of medical when you go, copay for when you go to the Medline. It's not just necessarily free. So that does come out of the 18 cents an hour as well.
And there are places that actually also charge room and board.
Yeah.
Like that's actually not, like don't be surprised. There are facilities that charge room and board if you have a job.
Right.
And a job that pays more than 20 cents an hour and sometimes not. So those jobs, particularly the corporate jobs, are ones where they actually take out and garnish wages for room and board to the prisons and jails.
Well, in California, the average cost for an inmate is $64,642 a year. The average cost to go to UCLA is half that. So there's a lot of money spent to have someone incarcerated, and it's certainly not being spent wisely. Do you have a story or a question for me? Click the link in the description and tell me what in the world is going on.